Let's bring on the author of The Leadership Genius of Elon Musk. Dennis KNEALE is with us here in the Ringside Politics program. And Dennis, welcome. How are you?
I'm fantastic on this day, even though two of my favorite heroes in the world are fighting each other, like that bad remake a few years ago where Batman's fighting Superman, and I kept thinking, why? Why are you two fighting? Oh my gosh, I can't believe what's happened.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this, and I think a lot of Americans feel the same way. Like, these guys are so good together, but such
Yeah,
powerful personalities, such egos. You knew that there would possibly be a break at some point, and there
sure.
certainly was. And let me just say this about Elon Musk. I think your book title is right on target, The Leadership Genius of Elon Musk. Just to review, Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, the Boring Company, XAI, and of course X. And then he
Yes.
took on this other project called Doge. And as he took on Doge, he received death threats. He received massive hate. Tesla owners were targeted. Tesla dealerships were firebombed. I mean, this guy did this for free. And I thought he put his heart and soul into it. Dennis, what say you?
And then what happened is, after all of that sacrifice, after his personal wealth going down by more than $100 billion at one point, then he manages to reach only 175 billion a year in ongoing cuts. It's 1.75 trillion in 10 years. Who's the last person in our government to have done anything like that? But it's less than the trillion per year that he had kind of set as a goal. All right. And then Congress comes along and House Republicans vote for a bill that estimates are could increase the debt by almost 3 trillion, maybe even more. And he's saying, what the hell are you doing? And then Elon
Right.
Musk responds with hurt, with anger and hurt. That's what drove that series of really mean tweets. He went into what Walter Isaacson, his biographer, called demon mode, where he's just venting with hate and anger. And
Right.
I've been in fights like that in the workplace. It's why I'm lesser employed now than I used to be, perhaps. And once you say an untoward thing, a controversial,
Right.
rude thing, the blood rushes through your ears. You can hear it. The adrenaline comes here. Starting to get excited, and then you say another one, and it's almost pleasurable. And then you suddenly go
Yeah.
way too far, and you can't pull it back.
So,
And that's what happened here.
the things that I thought were below the belt, the Epstein
Yeah,
tweet saying that the president should be impeached. I mean,
yeah.
threatening to cancel the Dragon
So
spacecraft.
over the
I
top,
mean,
right? Just so overdone, the way President
yeah,
Trump would have done.
right,
Trump 1.0 would have reacted with that
right,
type of vitriol. But you
right.
were right
I
when you pointed out
I
that he
thought
is.
Dennis, President Trump was actually took the high road and was
You were
restrained
so
compared
right
to
about
Elon.
that. And by the way, America should be really happy at two things this reveals about Trump. Number one is the president at his age still has quite the reservoir of testosterone left because he had to smack down his protege and his friend, and he did. And number two, that Trump, instead of taking this personally, that was a mistake I always made. Someone comes at me in an argument, and now I'm taking it personally when they don't mean it personally at all. Trump realized, dude, whatever you're doing, this is because of problems you have. Okay, this is about you. It's not even about
Right.
me. That is a more enlightened Trump we see in the second term because he does feel more loved with that popular vote win,
Right.
right? Don't you think so? I think you were so on target about that.
So you're making a great point. Trump 2.0 is so much better in so many different areas, and he's got the experience he didn't have the first time. He's not relying on all these advisors that did him so much harm the first term. He's got a better team around him, and I thought a good team member was Elon Musk, but. As you say, it broke up due to the big beautiful bill, due to other. How about his friend not getting the position at NASA? How
Yeah.
big of a role
Now,
was that, Dennis?
I can understand that. People give $300,000 to the Republican Party, and they're getting ambassadorships to entire countries in exchange for that. And I made up the 300,000 figure. It could be inaccurate, but let's not let the fact get in the way of a
Right.
good story. And whereas Elon gave 200 and was it 80, 280 million to help the Republican Party, and you can't, guys can't do me a solid and appoint the guy that I say would be a good head of NASA when I provide almost all of NASA's flights? Are you out of your
Right.
mind? I mean, it is
So
insulting,
what, Dennis?
especially after I
Something must
just
have
did
happened
Doge.
because he was appointed. President Trump did appoint him, and then something happened. So was
So
it
two
Elon
things.
wearing out his welcome? Was it Elon wearing
No,
out
it,
his
it
welcome
was.
and the president wanting to cut ties? What was it?
I think this was Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, who is an administration superstar, who is loved by Wall Street, but who feuded personally with Elon, called him a fraud because he had only cut 175 billion when Bessent wrongly just said the other day, hey, if you cut government spending too much, the economy could go into recession. Dude, don't be a Keynesian. Don't be in favor of government spending to prop up the economy. If you leave that money alone in our pockets, it will do far more to ignite the economy. Bessent
Right.
feuded with him. Bessent wanted to make him angry by getting rid of NASA from reports I read. And so that's one reason this happened. The cover story is that the guy gave to Democratic candidates. So what? Trump,
Right.
has Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a Democrat in his cabinet. He has Tulsi Gabbard. So I think that would have been
Right.
forgivable. You can't do
Well,
Elon solid. Wouldn't you be feeling really insulted and kind of angry at some
I
point and just
listen.
want to?
I agree. I agree. I agree. I agree. Now, is it true? Two things I want to ask you in our remaining few minutes. Is it true that he punched Scott Bessent? I mean, I read that somewhere that they got into
I
such a
heard it was a
fight that
shove.
he hit him.
I heard it was a shove, but you know what? No way was it a punch because a civilized Washington insider like Scott Bessent, if he were punched, would not man up and just take it and say, "Hey, boys will be boys." He would say, "Call the police." Any kind of the reason Washington
Okay.
dislikes Trump, dislikes Elon, is because they are both uncivilized men. They are real men, unaccustomed to the very
Right.
politest ways of Washington D.C.
Okay. Second question. The drug use, what the New York
Yeah.
Times had talked about. The president called that
Yes.
unfair. Uh,
Read every word of
is that a
that.
problem with Elon?
Ridiculous story. I think the problem here in the last couple of days was Elon might have been off of his ketamine rather than on it. I've read up a lot on ketamine and interviewed a lot of ketamine people for the book on Elon. And ketamine gets you laid out on the sofa and you get spaghetti legs and you can barely get up off the sofa and do anything, much less go on a hateful tirade out of control like what Elon did. So I don't ascribe this to drug use. Maybe this was scotch. He does on occasion drink
Okay.
some good scotch whiskey.
All right. Now, my final minute here with you. Where does Elon go from here? This was horrifying. I mean, does he now focus on his companies? Does he try to make amends with President Trump? What do you see, Dennis?
I think he focuses 80% on his companies. And then the other 20%, originally I thought he was going to withdraw from politics. I'm not going to get involved in the midterms. But now they keep pulling him back in. Now he wants to punish the key Republicans that failed to come to the defense and support of Doge. Now he wants to actually get involved, and I think he may do that a little bit more, but not in a massive across the board way, but in a surgical strike way to the places where he wants to help the nation the most or retaliate the most against those who failed to come to his
Okay.
side of things.
I noticed that his top post that pinned to the top of his X account is about a new political party that 80%
Yes.
of respondents said that they wanted. I wonder if he's going to be involved in something like that, Dennis.
You know what? That is just, I mean, that's a clear sign this man has way too much money because I think that that is a fool's errand. And the thing is, you watch. There's going to be platoons of consultants in Washington on both parties ready to defect, betray their parties, and earn millions of dollars from Elon showing him how to set up this party. But how about we work to
Right.
fix the parties rather than invent some new thing?
All right. On that note, I'll say amen. Dennis, thanks so much for being with us.